Alright, boys and girls, today's lesson is lesson 6-3. We're going to add and subtract fractions with like denominators. That means add and subtracting fractions that have the same denominator. Basically, it's very similar to what we've been doing. So, we're going to get we'll get right started with the pages. Excuse me. Alright, so let's turn to page 203. And this basically shows you the total that we're talking about and what's being added and subtracted. Okay, in this case, this is an addition problem because there's no x's. You'll see what I mean, because what they'll do in the subtraction problems, you'll see x's like that through something, which we'll do on the next one. What is that? Alright. So the first one, boys and girls, this should be really, really easy, and I know it will be. I know some of you can be like, Mr. Wiggins, this is easy. But it's okay, it's good. It's because you're getting it. And because you're getting it, it's easy. Anything I understand seems easier to me. Okay, so it says write the numerators that will complete the addition equation. Well, you have 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, and then you have another group of 1/7 and 1/7. These are not part of the equation right now. So the first one, we have 3/7 plus 2/7 equals 5/7. Actually, I'm going to erase that real quickly here. Let's do this. We have 3/7 plus 2/7. It equals 3/7 plus 2/7, or 3 plus 2/7, which equals 5/7. Just one extra little step in there that I failed to tell you. So this is solve each problem. Write the correct numerator to complete each equation. Okay? Here, the silly step that you're kind of doing in your head, and this eliminates you from doing mental math, because you're gonna be showing me what you're doing. But you have 3 ninths plus 4 ninths. Okay, the ninth stays the same on both of the next two answers. But this is basically 3 plus 4, and you know 3 plus 4 equals 7. Next one, we have 1/5 plus 3/5. Obviously, the denominator stays the same on each. 3 plus 1 is 1 plus 3 equals 4. Next one, same thing. All the bottom's going to stay the same, the denominator. Here's a 2 plus 5. You know 2 plus 5 is 7. Okay, so it says what happens to the numerators in each problem? Okay, what happens to the numerators in each problem? Well, hopefully you know they are added together. Okay, what happens to the denominators in each problem? Of course, we all know that it stays the same. Okay? Remember, if the denominator is the same on everything across the board, you don't mess with it. And I'm going to keep saying this until it comes to us. The denominator stays the same unless you're adding or subtracting or multiplying, dividing different denominators, unlike denominators. Okay, and that'll come sometime down the road. But right now, it's not, so don't worry about it. Here, it's kind of hard to see with this, it's kind of hard to see from the picture I took. But what it's showing you is it's kind of showing you the total that you started with. You started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/7. And you subtracted 1 2/7. So it's 6 minus 2 would equal 4/7. Okay? So hopefully you are able to see that how it's different than addition. Addition, you'll have a chunk circled and then another chunk circled with a chunk left alone, like this chunk is. And division and subtraction, they have the whole chunk circled. That's basically what you're starting with, and then they have x's through how many you're going to subtract. So let's go to the next page. I think it continues with more of these questions. This picture looks a little better. So 5/4 minus 5/6 minus 4/6. Okay, so what this is saying is it is saying 5 minus 4, 6, which equals 1/6. 9/10 minus 5/10 is saying 9 minus 5/10. So the answer is 4/10. Next one's 14/16 and 9/16, which is telling you 14 minus 9, which equals 5/16. Okay, so what happened to numerators in each problem here? Okay, well, they subtract. And how is subtracting fractions with like denominators similar to adding fractions with like denominators? Well, hopefully you know that once again the denominators do not, hopefully you know what I'm going to say, change. They don't change. If they're all the same, you don't need to change them. Alright, so we're going to mix a little bit up here. I want you guys to actually do these on your own. I want you to include, it says solve each problem, include the circled step in 16 through 21. Okay, so you need to add that extra step in there and then tell what it equals. So I'm going to do this because what you're going to do is you're going to add that step of, I'm going to do a couple for you just so you understand. I'm going to do 16 for you because I think you can get the, I'll do 13 and 16. How's that? So 13 is telling you 1/4 plus 2/4 was equals 1 plus 2 equals 3/4. The next one I'm going to want you to see is I'm going to want you to do 4/10 plus 5/10 would equal 4 plus 5/10, which then equals 9/10. So those are the steps I wanted to see on all of them. I'm not going to go over these with you. I trust that you're going to do them all and do them all correctly. If you have any questions with me, you can always ask me. Here's another one. It's written differently, but you still do the same here. Everything's still the same. When you're doing this, what you're going to do is you're going to see they both have a 9 as the denominator, so the answer is going to have a 9 at the bottom. Then basically you're taking 7 minus 5. So it equals 2/9. Same here the next one. You have 5 and 5, so the denominator is going to stay 5, and you're doing 4 minus 3. Don't worry, we're not going to go into negatives, or we're not going to make it confusing for you yet, but just understand that that's what you're doing here. So don't be confused when they write it vertically. Vertically is up and down, top and bottom. So make sure for 24 through 27, you make sure you look at the proper sign that they're doing. Is it addition, is it subtraction? And solve these, please. All right. So pause it, solve it, and when you're done, unpause it. All right. Next page. This is a fraction bar. It's meant for you to take out and use for finding down, or use to find the equals, and you can line it up with each other and see what are the same, what is bigger, what is smaller. I don't want you ripping this out just yet. I want you to keep in your book until further notice. Next up, what's the error? We have a couple questions here. I'm going to do the first one, and then I want you to do the next one on your own. It says, my friend said, if you catch 3 fish and then 2 more fish, how many fish will you have? Of course, I know I will have 5 fish. She said, this is the same problem, but you have fifths instead of fish. Can you help understand what my friend meant? Okay, so the friend said, if you catch 3 fish and then 2 more fish, how many fish would you have? Okay, so basically what it's saying, if they are changing the word for fifths or fish to fifths, you actually have 3 fifths plus 2 fifths, which equals 5 fifths, which equals a whole. So whatever she is saying, whatever it is, you actually have all of it, because you started with 3 fifths, and then you got 2 fifths, so you got them all. You got 5 fifths. Puzzle Penguin here is confused because what he did is he did the ultimate no-no, and he added the denominators to make it 10. That's the big no-no. Based on that, you should be able to understand the next question. I want you to write a response and write what good old Puzzle Penguin did to mess up here. Obviously, by looking at this, you should be able to tell what he did to cause an error. So work on that. Pause it, unpause it when you're done. All right, last page here. Story problems. Real world problems. Those are always the cool ones because this is stuff you can really see in real life. I'm going to do the first one with you, and then I just want to do your own however you want. So actually I'm going to do 30 and 32. So number 30 says, Wayne had 7/8 of a cup of trail mix. He ate 3/8 cup of it as he was hiking. How many cups does he have now? Well, if you want to write it out, you could write 7/8 minus 3/8 equals 7 minus 3/8, which equals 4/8. So you could say 4/8 cup, because you definitely want to remember, even though we're working fractions, there's still a unit attached. Okay, number 32, Nazareth walks 4/5 of a mile to school each day. This is 2/5 mile farther than the cat walks. How far does cat walk to school? Well, this is a typical subtraction problem. 4/5 of a mile minus how much cat walks will get you, minus the difference that cat walks, because Nazareth walks 2/5 mile further, so you take 4/5 minus 2/5, which gives you 4 minus 2/5, which equals 2/5. So that tells you that cat walks, or you could just say 2/5 of a mile. That's how far cat walks. Cat would walk 2/5 of a mile further than Nasara. Or actually, Nasara walks 2/5 of a mile further than cat. And if you want to work that as it says, write an equation. So if you're going to want to write an equation, it's always good to put a variable in. So an idea of what you could write with a variable, you could do something like 4/5 minus k equals 2/5. Okay, and of course, when you do that, you would swap these two around, and you do 4/5 minus 2/5. However you want to do it, we all write equations differently than others, so whatever gets you to the correct answer. So you have a little bit of time now. I want you to spend on work on 33, 34, 35. If you don't, Independent Station Day today, you will have a little bit of time to catch up on some of the past pages.